It becomes clear with time. What felt like rejection was never about your lack of worth. It was about their inability to sustain themselves without what you brought into their life. You have to understand something deeply. Your value was never limited to being someone's partner. Your value is rooted in who you are at your core, your empathy, your loyalty, your ability to love in a way that is rare. And when that kind of energy enters the life of someone who depends on external validation to feel whole, it doesn't go unnoticed. It gets used. Many people struggle with the belief that the narcissist has moved on easily, that they don't care, that they're happier without you. That belief makes sense, especially after the silence, the coldness, or even the damage done to your reputation. But what you experienced during the relationship, being idealized, then devalued, creates a psychological conflict. You remember the love, yet you were treated like you meant nothing. That confusion isn't weakness. It's the result of emotional conditioning. The truth is, what they were receiving from you was never ordinary. What you gave wasn't surface-level affection. It was emotional fuel, support, encouragement, stability. You were, in many ways, the system that helped them function. And when someone relies on another person to regulate their sense of self, losing that person creates a void they can't easily replace. At first, they may appear unaffected. They may even seem elevated, more confident, more successful, more in control. But that version of them was built while standing on what you provided. Without that consistent source of validation, cracks begin to form. What looked like growth was often just borrowed strength. That's why, even after long periods of time, they may attempt to come back into your life. Not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it's a simple message. Sometimes it's indirect, through social media, mutual connections, or subtle provocations. These are not actions. They are calculated attempts to check if access to you still exists. And this is where your power becomes real. When you stop responding, when you stop watching, when you remove your energy completely, something shifts. Not just for them, but for you. You begin to see clearly. You begin to remember who you were before the confusion, before the emotional exhaustion. Because the person you were before them still exists. You were not chosen because you were weak. You were chosen because you had something they needed, something they could not generate on their own. Your kindness, your patience, your willingness to understand, those qualities are not common, and they cannot be duplicated. No matter who comes after you, they will not receive the same version of love you gave. Not because others are incapable, but because what you offered was uniquely yours. It came from your experiences, your heart, your depth. And that's something they will continue searching for. But your journey is not about being found again by them. It's about finding yourself again. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that were slowly drained while you were trying to hold the relationship together. It's about recognizing that what you gave was real, even if what you received wasn't. There may have been a time when all you wanted was for them to come back. That feeling is part of the attachment that was formed. But healing changes that perspective. With distance and clarity, the desire shifts, not toward reunion, but toward peace. And peace comes from understanding this. You were never the one who couldn't live without them. They were the ones who couldn't sustain themselves without you. So don't wait for closure from someone who never gave you clarity. Don't measure your worth based on their behavior. And don't let the illusion of their perfect life pull you back into doubt. What you have is real on your side, and that matters. Now it's time to give that same energy, your care, your attention, your love back to yourself. Because the moment you truly see your worth is the moment their absence stops feeling like a loss and starts feeling like freedom.